How's it going, everybody? It is May 4th, I believe. I know it's the 1st of May, and I need to go ahead and build a shelter. The area I've picked out, as you see, I've got a mix of hardwood and softwood, and this is the area I'm thinking about. For one, there are a few blowdowns in the area. You can see up there and so forth. Got a very large fir tree right here. That's probably close to 18 inches at the base. Very healthy. Okay. I do have a dead one there, but it's already broke. The top's already broke off, and it's probably only a little over 20 feet tall. Where I'm standing, there's plenty of distance, so even if that fell, it wouldn't make it this far. And everything else around looks pretty good. I've got some resources I can use. I've got fir boughs and such in here that I can use. There's plenty of debris on the forest floor to utilize. And this whole area I'm in right here, I'll back up a bit, is fairly open. If you look up, there's not much debris that could fall on top of me, which is a bonus. If this was a healthier stand of softwood, I'd feel a little bit more comfortable building directly underneath one of them to help add to cover for rain and snow and so forth. But whereas this forest is a little bit on the dilapidated side, I feel it would be beneficial to stay in an open spot for this point. So I am going to get the camera set up and start collecting some material. This area right here, I hope you can see it. It's raised up a bit, and all around it is recessed. So any drainage coming off this side hill here will be diverted around the area I'm going to build my shelter on top of. That way I won't get washed out in the middle of the night should we get heavy rains. Or if we get snow and it melts off the following day, all the water will be diverted around this raised area. So be suitable to help keep myself dry, as well as it is springtime. The frost is coming out of the ground, and any of these raised areas like this here tend to be the ones that dry first. So this area here is going to be much drier ground than any of the recessed spots throughout the forest. So that's why I chose this location. Okay, building a overnight emergency shelter for cold temperatures and when you're in a hurry. This shelter, I'm not using any form of cordage at all. I'm just using natural sticks. Right now I'm using young fir as the framework. I used a alder, and then I'm going to line up these sides with the remaining sticks, and we'll proceed forward. Let me move a little bit of this brush out of the way for you. You always want to start your roof basically from the bottom up. That way the layers overlap each other. The top going on last, that'll shed onto the next layer, which will shed onto the next layer, and so on. If you did it the opposite, you're leaving room for rain or snow or whatever to actually make it down through. So it's always best to start at the bottom and work your way up. This will help shed rainwater, snow, plus obviously utmost important in cold weather, help insulate you to help keep you warm, hold in some of your heat. And you put several layers. It's a lot of work to collect all these fir boughs, but well worth the effort. You'll be glad you did. Otherwise you will be very cold. I save all the smaller pieces and the tops, which I'll show you. For example, this is one of the tops. It's very fluffy as far as all the branches go. So I tend to like to put these inside for my bedding. Gives me some cushion as well as added insulation as well. Very important. A lot of people might not like to hear this, but comfort's a big factor as well. If you're not comfortable, I mean, I know we all have to deal with not being as comfortable as we'd like to be, but if you can make a shelter that you're comfortable with, then that's that much more ammunition in your pocket. It's when when you're not comfortable, that things can get pretty miserable. So if you can make yourself as comfortable as possible, it's only going to add to the situation and the comfort level that you're at that point. All of these fir boughs were gathered from the trees I cut down to make the shelter itself. Now the top, I'm going to use that for bedding. Make sure you get plenty down towards the bottom where your feet are. Definitely want to keep your feet warm. Feet are very detrimentally important. If you think about it, if your feet get frostbite or freeze burn and they hurt to the point where you can't walk on them, that renders you fairly useless. So you always want to make sure to take care of your feet. So well insulated down at the base where your feet are going to be. I'm going to put these top type ones, the tops of the trees, towards where my feet are going to be. The overall structure is built. I'm going to go ahead and top dress this with ground debris, leaves from the forest floor. So I'm going to top dress that, and we should be pretty close to being done. All right, I'm going to give you a little walk around so you can see what I've done. Here's the entrance. I got that packed full of fir boughs. This is a tri-framed stick which is holding my two side supports as well as my center post, and that's driven into the ground. I have copious amounts of fir boughs, and then I've top dressed that with ground debris. Side view, and I'm going to position the camera and I'm going to crawl inside. Now that should be plenty to keep you warm. Of course, you could add some more ground debris in there if it was extremely cold. It doesn't happen to be all that cold right now, but in the event it was a midwinter situation, or well, okay, let's skip that midwinter thing. If it was midwinter here, we wouldn't be gathering ground debris like this. But certainly if it was late fall, getting those, you know, 20, 25 degree nights, or even colder at times, depending, and you still had ground debris available, you could add some more of this, as well as you could collect, you know, provided available, plenty more of these fir boughs, and completely line that whole thing. So you basically got to crawl in there like a cocoon. And of course, you could even make this more shallow. That's half the reason I made it, the roof as shallow as I did. The less space your body has to heat to stay warm, the better. So in a survival situation, to stay warm on a cold night, especially if you do not have fire for whatever reason, you want to keep your shelter small and very well insulated. The less amount of space you need to try to heat up with your own body heat in order to stay warm, the better. So quite honestly, you could build this a little bit shallower and completely pack that and leave just enough room for yourself to get in. I guess that's it. I hope you like the shelter. Anywho, thank you very much for your time. So, I want you to take a look at something. For a starter, that tree is not something at all that you would want to build under. But ideally, that's not what I wanted to show you. I wanted to show you this hemlock over here. Because you've got this hemlock here. Beautiful tree. Okay. Right there. And then we've got this one that's even bigger. But I want to show you the difference. I don't know if that looks good on camera or not, but if I want you to try to see the difference in the amount of boughs this tree has here compared to this tree. I'm going to zoom this a bit. If you look right there, and most of all right there in the center of the screen, right above my finger, you can see where all the bark's chewed off that limb, that branch, okay? And it's missing absolutely most of its boughs. Now if you look on the ground, you're going to see remnants of hemlock boughs everywhere. So to me, this is a cardinal sign of a rodent or pest we deal with in Maine that is quite destructive to outbuildings and sheds, hemlock trees, as well as other species of trees, and that would be the almighty porcupine. Every single branch on the ground here is chewed off. Okay, and if you look real close, you're gonna see all the porcupine scat. That's a hemlock cone. But all these, it's every place. So anyhow, thank you very much. I enjoyed doing this with you, and we'll talk to you soon. Have a great day.